Welcome into SportBet Extra. I'm your host, Paul Rami, here every Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. It's December 4th, 2025 on a Thursday. Great day today. Yesterday, not so good. We went 1-3 in our plays, so we'll recap that. We'll put up the overall record. We'll talk a little bit about college football, not much on that today, but just want to touch on it one more time before those games do get started tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about the NBA and the betting strategy that we've got going on, as we do have a play tonight for the NBA betting strategy. And then we'll be off of it till about mid-December to late December. But we do have one play that we will be on tonight for the NBA. Talk a little bit of college basketball. Not many, really exciting games tonight in college basketball. We'll just touch on those, but we'll talk NFL, of course. We got to talk about tonight's game. We'll get into all that. Here we go. Let's go. All right, we're going to start the same way, always putting up that record, overall record since October 21st there, plus 22.72 units. Again, $100 better. You're up $2,200 since October 21st. Again, all my plays, they're posted, sportbetextra.com. You can get them there. Go sign up, get your free 7-day trial. At least try it out for a week. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. Don't sign up. If you win with me, then you've got options there: 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, whatever you like. So go check it out there. You'll get all my plays. But again, at the end of the show, I will do at least one free play every day to kind of give you my favorite bet of what we've talked about throughout the show. So NBA currently 19-8. Great record there for the NBA. College basketball 49-35. That's solid. Again, MLB didn't have much there, as we just had something towards the end of the season in the World Series. And then NFL is 11-9. Let me move that banner out of the way, and then you can see their college football 6-11-1. Improvement from 3-11-1. I think we won the last 3. So we're making some improvements there. College football. Again, we've got plenty of bowl games, conference championships going to come up that we can get some action on if we find the right spots to improve that record before the season ends. So currently 22.72 units there. Last night, Indiana minus 9.5 was no good. They never had a chance against Minnesota. Just didn't show up. We kind of should have saw that one there as a letdown spot, but didn't. IU Indy had them on the money line. They did not show up against Detroit Mercy there. Texas minus 2.5. Again, another awful call. So college basketball last night was just not good. I had the wrong reads on college basketball. NBA, we did have one easy winner. We talked about it slightly on the show. Nets Bulls under 231.5. Like we talked about, where's that offense going to come from that game? It just was not going to be a fun one to watch. So that one we just took the under, didn't even bother watching it, as there was no scoring in it. Went well below that total at like 214, 216, somewhere around that range. So that's where we're at currently overall. And from yesterday, real quick, I just want to pull up college football, that bracket again, just to touch on it. Tomorrow we do have Troy at JMU for that Sun Belt Championship, and then North Texas Tulane. That's going to be a good one. And now the reason really we talk about those or worry about those, right? Because we talked about on the show, if Virginia loses to Duke, which is very possible, we've seen these happen before. If Virginia loses to Duke, there's a possibility no ACC team makes it into the college football playoff, because you've got to make room now. If JMU does win, they're ranked, they're going to be your 5th highest conference champ there. So they'll end up playing Oregon. And then whoever wins out of that, either North Texas or Tulane game there, most likely going to be in as your conference champ number 4 there, taking on Ole Miss. So that's what you're looking at, unless, of course, Virginia does win. Then Virginia will take on Ole Miss, and then either North Texas or Tulane takes that number 5 spot. And poor JMU, they're out of it, but it is what it is. Miami's still on the outside looking in. I don't see how they get in I don't think there's room for them. BYU has an opportunity, of course, if they do beat Texas Tech in that Big 12 championship, they can steal one of those bids there. But I'm not too sure about BYU. Again, we talked about that game, Texas Tech and BYU, a few weeks back when that happened. We were all over the under and Texas Tech there. And we just know that defense is just way too strong. So that's what we're looking at currently. Again, we may have a play on one of those games tomorrow, Troy JMU, and then North Texas Tulane. North Texas laying to 2.5 against Tulane there. Interesting. Very interesting. And then JMU, big favorite there, minus 23.5 against Troy. Uh, Again, all plays, odds, everything I look at too is all on Profit X. Go check it out. Go sign up. Legal here in Texas, which is great. It's a prediction market. If anyone knows about prediction market, basically we're just taking out the sports book. There's no house. It's against other people. So Profit X is what I use. Other good ones, No Vig is pretty good too, but Profit X is the main one that I use. So that's what we got for college football. Let's talk NFL tonight, and then we'll just touch on college basketball and some NBA as well. We're going to go over the NBA betting strategy. So first, NFL, Cowboys at the Lions. I've talked about the Cowboys last week. We were on the Cowboys against the Chiefs at the plus 3.5. This Cowboys team, as of late, as much as I hate to say it, they looked good. If you just look at what they did last week, I mean, forced 5 punts against the Chiefs. When was the last time that happened this season? Yeah, that didn't. That was the first time the Chiefs punted 5 times on the season. That's the Cowboys defense. They're slowly starting to step up. 3 sacks against Mahomes last week. I mean, what's also looked good is really just the offense since the bye week. Over 437 total yards of offense the last 3 games, 401.8 yards on the season. I mean, that's good for first in the league. This offense is dangerous when they get it going. Man, having Pickens has really made a difference for the Cowboys on the other side there of Lamb. I mean, if their defense just can get stops here and there, their offense, like I said, is a nightmare for any other team. Since the bye week, what have the Lions really done? I mean, what, beat the Commanders and the Giants? They lost to the Vikings, the Eagles, the Packers. They really should have won that one against the Vikings. That was unacceptable there. They'd be sitting at 8-4 instead of 7-5 right now, with the Bears in control of that division. Lions, they're just dealing with too many key injuries. If you're looking at who they've got, I mean, Penny Sewell, if he's not able to go on the offensive line, Dan Skipper's going to slot in. And then what have you got to deal with Jadeveon Clowney on the other side if he's in? So that's not going to be easy for Jared Goff there. Amon-Ra, of course, being one of the most crucial injuries there. If he does play, he's not going to be 100%, dealing with that low ankle sprain that he got. It's really a critical game for both teams, right? If Cowboys win this one, they move up to 7-5-1. They are right there behind the Eagles. The Eagles, this is not the Super Bowl team from last year. There's a lot of struggles. There's something going on with that Eagles team offensively. I mean, if you can get it now, I would like to take the Cowboys to win that division. It's kind of late. Pretty much missed the boat on that one there. I mean, you can add, of course, out of the bye week, way better odds than what you get it at now. Again, just looking at what the Eagles have done, right? Lost to the Cowboys, lost to the Bears. The Eagles haven't looked good. I would lean towards the Cowboys to win that division. As for tonight, I'm not worried about it being a letdown spot for the Cowboys. It seems like a spot here where the Lions just have too many injuries that they're having to deal with. Because of that, because of how the Cowboys offense has looked, not going to kind of have a recency bias here. The Lions, I just don't see them clicking. I think the Cowboys continue offensively, put up big numbers. That's a high total, 54.5. They're expecting a shootout type of game. I would lean Cowboys here plus the 3. I don't know about the money line. If it is one of those where it does come down to a close game and then Lions win by a field goal, you get your push there. But I don't know about money line. I would take Cowboys +3 there if I were on anything tonight. Being that high total though, it's interesting. 54.5. I mean, so you're looking at what, like a 30-24 type of game. That's a lot of offense. With Amon-Ra out, I don't see, again, if he's not out, I don't see where that offense is going to come from. Even if he's in, he's not going to be 100%. I don't know about an over on this one unless the Cowboys can put up like 40 themselves, but I don't know how to lean that way. Cowboys would be the only way I would look for this game. We'll talk more NFL tomorrow. We'll touch on it on Friday's show. We are going to have a lot more time. Tomorrow's show is actually going to be moved 1 hour later. So typically we do our 10 a.m. show here. We're going to move it to 11 a.m. So noon Eastern, 11 Central. We'll have that one tomorrow where we talk NFL. We'll talk college football, get everyone ready for the weekend. For tonight, NBA. So let's get into the NBA betting strategy. What we've been tracking here, this is the betting strategy that I've talked about, right? We look at these teams on back-to-back playing the same team consecutively. So far on the season, following this strategy, we're 8-2. So if you see strategy win or loss, 4 wins, 2 losses, and then another last 4 have won. Most recent being the Jazz plus 12.5. They won outright against the Rockets on that back-to-back game. Before that, we had the Nets there against the Celtics. Nets got blown out against the Celtics, and what did they do as 15.5-point underdogs? They win against the Celtics that next game. And the trend just goes on and on. So currently 8-2 on the betting strategy. You can see tonight we've got Timberwolves, Pelicans. Timberwolves won last night, 149-142. That was the Pelicans spot. Now tonight is Timberwolves. They're going to blow out the Pelicans according to the strategy. It's going to be somewhere more than 11.5. I'd look for them to win by 15, 20, somewhere around that range. That's going to be the play that we're on tonight is Timberwolves minus the points. When we get near the end of the show, I'm going to double check what the current odds are on Profit X for this one, but all signs are pointing towards Timberwolves there. Looks like there's a minus 11.5, minus 12 also if we want to take a minus 12, minus 11.5. Again, that's there as well. So we've got that for tonight on the NBA strategy. See the rest of December into a little bit of January there. December, we've got on the 19th, Cavs Bulls. That's one there. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games within that next week that we're going to be using our betting strategy on. We'll continue to track this, see how this goes. But so far, if you've only been betting this in the NBA, you're 8-2. That can be your big unit play if you want to bump it up 3 units, 4 units, 5 units, 10 units, whatever you want to do, drop 1,000 on it instead of 100. I'd have no problem with that because this strategy has been proven so far as winning this season. So that's for our NBA betting strategy. We're going to be on Timberwolves tonight against the Pelicans. Even if Zion goes, doesn't matter. None of that's going to make a difference. So let me just kind of, again, see what the current odds are. I want to check the injuries just to see. Now, Zion Williamson, he's probably going to be out, so we're good there. Minus 11.5, I would be taking the Timberwolves. Going to continue to track that strategy the rest of the season. We'll see how that ends at the end of the season. We're shooting for at least 75%, 80% win rate. That's ideal. Right now, 8-2, we're at an 80% win rate. So let's keep that up. And then that would be the strategy that we use for NBA next season as well. College basketball, again, not a lot of games tonight in college basketball. One that I do like kind of sticks out to me, Utah State at USF. Is this another one of those that we have that read on? This is almost like that Georgia-Florida State game, right? Georgia on the road, small favorite, minus 1.5. as the show is on, going now, that line has flipped from USF now being the slight 1.5 point favorite compared to Utah State being the slight 1.5 point favorite. Utah State 7-0. This team, they can shoot from three. I mean, MJ Collins 52% from three for Utah State. Gary Clark, he plays much bigger than his 6'9" frame. Utah State defensively, I would compare them to like VCU that USF has played so far this season. USF, we talked about, they're very strong offensively, but when they face a defensively sound type of school, they struggle. When they played Oklahoma State, we know Oklahoma State doesn't play defense. They scored 95 points there. Of course, they can put up points. When they played VCU, look at that, 66 points. That was one of their lowest on the season, because before that they were up and averaging almost 100 points per game. And then what do they do next? They played Colorado State, who's another solid defensive team. And what did they put up? Only 68 points there. USF struggles with good defensive. Utah State's defense is one of the, I'd say, top 25, top 30 in the nation. Very good defensive team, and they can shoot the three. If USF gets behind, they're not going to be able to catch up. We're not going to fall for the trap again on this one like we did for Florida State against Georgia there. I would lean Utah State outright by, it doesn't even matter. If you want to get into double digits, Utah State wins this by double digits. They're going to slow the pace of this game. USF wants to go fast. Utah State's going to force them to play half court. I would go Utah State here for this game. Other than that, there really isn't anything interesting. Robert Morris, Green Bay, maybe. I've liked Robert Morris so far this season. However, they are a slight. That one's flipped. Also, Green Bay is a 1.5 point favorite now at home. Robert Morris, they're going on the road. I liked Robert Morris. We had them against Drake early in the season. This team, they can keep up. Are they going to do anything impressive? No. They're going to be very average in their three-point shooting. They're going to be very average in their scoring. Yeah, they can rebound the ball, but they move the ball pretty well. They know how to assist. They know how to get their guys involved. Turnovers are sort of an issue for Robert Morris. Green Bay can take advantage of that. But Green Bay also defensively is nothing to write home about. If anything on this game, I would just lean it over. That's a kind of low total, 139.5. I just don't see much defense for this game. I see a lot of scoring, a lot of quick up and down. I would lean the over 139.5 for this Robert Morris Green Bay game here. Citadel Davidson, not even going to talk about that one. Davidson just laid the 21.5. And then you've got Cal Poly, Cal State Fullerton, UC Irvine, UC Riverside, all these fun California games going on. We're not going to pay much attention to those there. In the NBA, again, we talked about Timberwolves minus 11.5, other small slate, Lakers at the Raptors there. Raptors small favorite at home, laying the 2.5. I would lean Raptors. I'm not big on the Lakers, especially now with Luka Doncic out. You just got to kind of lean Raptors there. Warriors at the Sixers. 76ers minus 2.5. I would just take the 76ers again. Warriors, not too sure, especially if we go and kind of figure out what's going on with their injuries. Steph Curry's out. Jimmy Butler, game time decision. Don't really know what's going to happen with him. One game I would just completely just stay away from and not even watch is Celtics Wizards. I mean, who is there to watch on this game? Jaylen Brown is doubtful for tonight with an illness. And then on Washington side, Bilal Coulibaly, he's out. I mean, Sharif Cooper's out. Alex Sarr is out. Kispert's out. So it's just, what are you going to watch? CJ McCollum and Peyton Pritchard in a three-point contest? Yeah, I would just stay off this game. Not even bother watching that one. And then you got Utah at Brooklyn. It feels like a spot for Utah to just not show up here and Brooklyn to win as, 4.5 point underdogs and win outright. So NBA, not a lot. College basketball, not a lot tonight. NFL is really going to have majority of the action. but we will give out that Timberwolves play. So let's find those current odds before we do get out of here. Again, we talked about this show being a little bit quicker because there's not a lot going on tonight. Tomorrow's show will be longer as we've got a lot to cover with college football and the NFL, and then all the other college basketball, NBA, all the other fun games going on. So pulling up ProfitX right now. Again, you see down below, go visit, go type in my code Paul Rami, get 20% on a $100 purchase there, and then you can use that cash on any game that you want. Currently, Minnesota minus 11.5, minus 112. So we're going to take that one there. Timberwolves, lock that in, minus 11.5, minus 112. That's going to be given out over on sportbetextra.com. So as soon as the show is over, within maybe 30 minutes to an hour, the plays will be posted. So the free play, Timberwolves minus 11.5, minus 112. The rest will be on the website. Go get you a trial, free 7 days. Then, like I said, if you win, sign up for the week, sign up for the month, sign up for 3 months. Just come win with me. This is what I do. And, we have fun doing it. I will see you all tomorrow, 12 Eastern, 11 Central. Good luck tonight. Have a good